So, hello everybody. My name is Tony, and welcome to the next live episode podcast. And we are in first time ever with a couple, so this is
Nice.
gonna be very interesting. So, welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We're happy to be here.
Thanks, Tony.
I'm happy you are here. So, first a question: how did you meet, and what made you realize this was more than just friendships?
Nice.
So how did we meet?
We met in the middle of nowhere, Tony. It was in the United States. There's a place called Kansas.
Mhm.
It's in the middle of the whole country. And we went to school there. And I played football and she played basketball. And we met there at this little school
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of nowhere.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. We were both from California. So we were both back in California, but we were both from California. So yeah, we ended up out there. We met each other. And I was there not looking for a relationship at all. I did not want to meet anyone out there because I was planning to come back to California. Lo and behold, Anthony and I connected, and he's from out here. So I really had no excuse as to not start dating. So yeah, we actually just grew from friendship to our relationship. We both had a lot of growing to do, a lot of maturing to do. We were younger, we were in our early 20s, 20 and 21. And so, yeah, we just kept at it. It took a lot of hard work
Yeah.
for sure to get to where we are now. Yeah, it was an adventure. We'll just call it that to get here.
Yeah.
So you guys meet in your 20s, like 21, 22.
No, we met. When did we meet? What year?
Yeah. No. What age?
Yes.
Oh, what age? Yeah, 20, 21.
Yeah, I was 20 and he was 21.
Nice. What God first means for you as
Getting
a
good.
couple, not just.
Well, yeah, that's a great question.
Nice.
So it actually is like the foundation because we feel like if there's no God, there's no anchor, right? We'll just keep drifting, right? From away from each other, back and forth from each other. And so I think having the same value system, right? And so for us, that's our faith, that's our family, that's financial independence, freedom, and fitness. So those are like our values in our filter system. So, but it all starts with God, right? And so being able to filter all of our decisions through that, it helps us are we getting closer or further away from our values and our goals? Right. And so, and if it doesn't align with our values or our goals, then why are we going to do this? Or why are we going to buy this? Or why are we going to go hang out with these people? And so everything starts with God and then it trickles down into every other value.
Yeah. It's helped us endure a lot of difficult situations too, because in relationships, you're going to go through highs and lows. And, we've navigated some, changes in life. We have kids, we have 3 children. So we're always, if I didn't have my faith, I don't know how I would parent. I don't know how I would navigate the day. So it's super important to us for even our kids, us modeling that and being able to show them, hey, a relationship with God is so important. Keeping God first is super important. He's going to guide you throughout everything. Yeah, we've incorporated it within our marriage independently and, now modeling it for our kids.
Nice. So how has marriage changed your way, purpose, and responsibility?
Good one. Yeah. How has marriage changed my purpose? Well, when you're single, you're selfish, right? You're only thinking about you only have you to worry about. So when you have another person that you're doing life with, you're going to have to start putting yourself a little, not on the back burner, but you're going to want to focus on your partner, right? Because you're a team. And so that's something that we've navigated too, is like, yes, we're independent people. We need to take care of ourselves, but I want to make him happy. And I know he wants to make me happy, right? And so we're on the same team. So if we're not if we're not on a team, our family's going to just crumble, right? We're not going to be able to work together. And so the way it's changed our purpose is that it's not about us anymore. It's about each other and our kids. And so when we're on the same page and when we're doing things together, we see, our house is full of happiness and joy. And whenever, there's going to be times where it's difficult because we've had a long week, we've had work, we've had relationships that with friendships, maybe, or family, those things kind of go up and down. If we're not solid with each other you can tell the change in the mood
Mhm.
of your home, right? So I would say that's kind of changed my purpose. Do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I would say communication has definitely
Mhm.
ramped up in my life. So when you're single, you don't really have to communicate with anyone. You can just really go off and do your own
Mhm.
thing. Maybe text your friends, text your parents, that you're still alive and you're here. But at the end of the day, I think when you have a relationship and you're married or even boyfriend, girlfriend, or, whatever you prefer, I also think that you have to be able to communicate and like, hey, I'm gonna go here, just these little things you have to just do a little bit more, right? And just kind of being aware of everything. And so yeah, so I think that's kind of where we're at. I think when it comes to communication, you definitely have to amp it up
Yeah,
a lot.
like overly communicate.
Yeah, overly
Mhm.
communicate and just like, well, don't assume anything either. Like, oh, I was running a little bit late, or no, just like, hey, I'm running late. I'm just gonna give you a heads up.
Yeah,
Like just the little things, I think it makes it that
huge.
much better when you can communicate. So I would say that's probably like one of the biggest things since being in a relationship and married.
Nice. Nice. So, what is the hardest part about being married in today's world?
What is the hardest part about being in this is a really good question. I want to start off with this.
Yes, please.
I think one of the things of being married in today's world, what's hard is that everybody likes everybody and I know you're in the Netherlands, we're in America, and then we're actually in Orange County. So in California,
Mhm.
we're like in Orange County. And so where we live, divorce rate is really high, like all-time high.
Mhm.
And in our country, it's high as well. And so I think when you have examples around you, even starting with your family and your friends, when everybody gets divorced and everyone breaks up, I think what's hard is basically like being able to not compare yourself to other people, not look at their situation and
Mhm.
compare it to yours.
Mhm.
I think being able to focus on you two, right, together and what's working for you guys, because what works for us is not going to work good for other
Mhm.
people, right? And that's even when it comes to raising kids, right? Well, we raise our kids different than other
Mhm.
people raise their kids. So it's very important, like, hey, if we're on the same page and we're good, like we need to make sure that like, hey, even tell each other that. I think I always tell her, hey, like I love you, like randomly, like
Mhm.
or I'll shoot her a text message, love you randomly. Thanks again for all that you do. I think those little things they help, right? Because life gets in the way. Life be life in, right? We all have jobs, we all have finances, we all have health. So all these things come into play in life, but to be able to be like, hey, I'm thinking about you.
Mhm.
I really appreciate everything you're doing. I know it's been kind of crazy this week, so thanks again for like just being there. You see everything that you do, and I just want to let you know I appreciate it and I love you. Like little things like that, they have to
Mhm.
like
They're huge.
they're huge.
Yeah,
They're
I'm
huge.
going to add on to that too. In today's world, our society, I don't know if it's the same in Netherlands, but here the family unit has slowly been dividing, right? And so I feel like in today's society, the husband goes to work and the wife is now
Yeah.
going to work. And so it's really pulling people apart. And not in like it doesn't have to always be negative, but it is taking time away from each other. And so I think that is a challenge too in our world today is that, husbands are going to work and wives are going to work. The family unit is unintentionally, intentionally, probably being separated a little bit. And that is a really hard thing. It's a
Mhm.
really hard thing because you're spending so much time with other people
Mhm.
that you're thinking, this is so much fun. This person is so great, blah, 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 which is probably true. But also, you chose to marry someone and spend time with them. And that is a really hard thing that we navigate, I think, as a whole society, is that we are being kind of slowly separated from the people we love. And then we
Mhm.
have to come back and try to reconnect. But we're so tired, right, from the whole day that
Yeah.
we just had
Yeah.
that we're giving our leftovers to each other.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the other things too. And that's why Anthony talks about communication, because you really have
Mhm.
to communicate with each other in order to keep that conversation, because sometimes people come home and they're on their phones, they're watching
Mhm.
a show, they're doing all these things. They're not even able to connect because they're tired. They're tired. They just want to just zone out
Mhm.
for a minute. But then that's not fair to your
That's
partner.
true.
That's not fair to your marriage, and it's not fair to your kids if you have kids to see that,
That's true.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the only thing I'd add.
No, that's really good. And just to add a last thing on it is, it's so easy to, um, I think you have to be aware because it's so easy to, I think, be like have feelings for other people,
Mm-hmm.
especially because when you go to work, you're leaving each other for 8+ hours a
Mhm.
day, right? So it's like a long distance relationship under the same roof. And so when you go and you spend time at work with girls, or whatever other your coworkers, right? You develop these relationships. You guys are solving problems together. You guys have to have chemistry because you spend so much
Mhm.
time together. And sometimes I think like you develop feelings
Yeah.
for
That's
these
true.
people
Yeah.
because you're with them more than you're with your spouse,
Spouse. Yeah.
Mhm.
right? Your partner. And so you having the wherewithal to be like, hey, like this, to have a disconnection, like this is work and then this is my
Mhm.
life. And these are like, again, going back to those values, and I need to make sure I'm aligned with my values and I'm anchored with my wife and my kids and my family and the whatever you built, right? Because when you have a family, you're building something. And so you don't, and when you crumble it, or mess up, like it affects everyone
Yeah,
from
that's
your
true.
your spouse to your kids to maybe even your in-laws sometimes, so it's very important to like have the awareness of like what's really going on big picture.
Yes, that's absolutely true. So, next question. How do you handle disagreements without breaking unity?
That's really good. That took a lot of time for us to develop. I think because we're two different people and we have our past, how our families navigated discussions or disagreements. So some might have been arguing more, some might have just like retracted and just left the house, so we had to navigate how we were able to communicate with each other. Honestly, we're not like very argumentative anymore, especially like since
Hmm.
we've gotten married. Like we have, yeah, of course I say, oh, we have silly disagreements like, hey, you forgot to take the trash out, or, like,
Yeah, I know.
hey, you were supposed to, silly things, right? But really like big things, we haven't had to navigate super big because we communicate to the point where we're like, okay, we have to overly communicate the
Mhm.
situation. This is how I felt about this. And this was super frustrating for me. I didn't like when you said
Mhm.
that,
Hmm.
so we
Yeah.
go to each other immediately and talk about it because even though it's uncomfortable and we're like, oh,
Mhm.
I don't want to say this to you, or I don't want him to say these
Mhm.
things to me, right? It's like puts a mirror to your face, like, hey, you did do that, and you have to kind of face the music. So that's how we've navigated a lot of our recent, like, I mean, we don't really argue that much. I don't recall anything that significant
Mhm.
like recent years other than we're just trying to navigate like our kids, they're really silly. Like they're usually the one I bring up the arguments about the silliest
Mhm.
things. Like I'm the one that's like, "Oh my gosh, you didn't put your shoes away," or
Mhm.
just like silly
Yeah.
stuff, but no, nothing significant.
Yeah,
So,
nothing big. And what I think really helped me from like avoid arguing going into your marriage is, and even during your marriage, is reading. So I read a lot of books, like
mm,
right on marriage
Mhm.
books, on what are
I
the
know.
5 love languages. That's a great book
Mhm.
if you're married or have a partner. Boundaries, kids books, right? Like how to like not kids books, but
parenting.
like parenting books. So all of these things, they help you when you read.
Mhm.
I think like you can understand where you put yourself in her
Mhm.
position, right? And so then I can be like, oh, I can see why you got mad about this, or
Mhm.
I can see where I could have done better here, or I can see where the things that she really wants me to
Mhm.
focus on, like doing. So you get better at this, and again, you're never going to be perfect, right? We're all human, but I think working on it and consistently working on it and getting better, that's where things get, they kind of blossom because we're not like spending our energy on fighting or
Mhm.
arguing
Yeah,
because that's an energy sucker,
it
right?
is.
That's it, like being negative and being, or
Upset.
just being upset, like that's an energy sucker that can weigh on you throughout your day
Mhm.
in your work,
Yeah.
in your relationship. So it's always good to just, I'm like, oh, okay, like she seemed really upset about that. And I didn't think it was a
Mhm.
big deal, but like, okay, let me see, why, let me dig deep, right? Let me seek to understand like what's
Mhm.
what's bugging her so
Mm.
much. And so I think that's what really good to just kind of, peel the curtain back and just be quiet and like listen to what she's trying to tell you.
Nice. So, do you believe men and women have different roles, and why is that controversial today?
I'll go. Do feel that we were created differently. I do feel that God intended certain roles for
Mhm.
families. I think roles are important. We're both athletes. Okay. So when we were playing sports, everyone had a role on the team,
Mhm.
from the captain of the team
Mhm.
to the person on the bench. They had a role on the team.
Mhm.
Applied that in our family. Like, I mean, even with our kids, we make sure that they understand their role. That they understand what we expect of them. And then as each other, we have roles as well. So what my roles are in a family is going to be so different than what Anthony's are. Okay. Because I still believe in traditional things. And personally, I like things done a certain way. So that's a me problem usually. But yeah, I do feel that it is important that we go back to some of those traditional roles. Now, I don't think you don't have to do any of these things. That's how we feel, right? So if someone feels passionate about working and passionate about, following their career and doing that as a female, that's amazing. I think women are amazing people. I
Mhm.
think we are capable of so much. Um, I know that for me, because we have young kids, I want to be invested in my kids as much as I possibly can. Now, in this economy, it's a little challenging. So thankfully we have Bitcoin that we've been, investing and saving in, and all those things too that help us even with our finances. But it has allowed us to even meet different people and learn from other people as well. So I think it's super important that we do go back to traditional roles in a sense if we can, because our family units, like we talked earlier, they have been pulled a lot.
Mhm.
And it is causing our kids to go to daycare. Some people barely have time with their kids, which
Mm-hmm.
is like heart-wrenching to me.
Mhm.
Sad.
It's sad. And then couples are barely together. And then when they're together, they're giving each other leftovers, or they're forced to go to a party, or they're forced to go to an event that they don't, maybe you don't even want to go to. So it's just those things where they're trying to make up for the time lost. And it's challenging. It's hard. So I do feel that there are roles in a family, just like any other family would be. Obviously, mine are probably more traditional. Like, I would like for me to make sure that the house is kept up, the kids are well educated and taken care of. We actually choose to homeschool our kids,
Nice.
so we're navigating that as a family. It's not easy, and it's been us navigating that as well, but it's such a blessing because I'm getting to see firsthand the growth of our own children. So that's a goal of ours too. I still currently work full time, but it's from remote, so I am able to kind of create my own schedule a little bit. So that's been helpful. But yeah, traditionally, I would love to not work. I would love to just be with my kids. I would love to just be a wonderful wife, because I've noticed that I cannot do it all. Like, we can do a lot, but I cannot do it all,
Awesome.
or I can't do it all well.
Mm.
Right. So I'm always doing something kind of good, but not, to my full potential, I guess. And I'm obviously harder on myself in certain ways, but that's how I view roles. And yeah, it is challenging, but everyone can navigate their own way however they want to. But I do feel like our family unit, I think if everyone brought their family unit back, we'd solve a lot of problems in the world. I really do. I really do feel that way.
Yeah, I think there are roles, and I think those roles they worked for so long, right? Those like where it was those traditional that roles that she was talking about, where the man goes to work and then the wife, stays home and takes care of the kids. I honestly think that most women, not all women, but most women like that. I think they like being home and being able to like take care of the house because that's a full-time job. And being a mom, a full-time job. There's a lot of responsibilities, raising human beings. And so I do think that is something that we can go back to. And because right now I do think there's a lot of, I don't know, I would say not, what would be the word? There's not a lot of structure
Mhm.
right now. It just feels like there's a lot of chaos in the world
Yeah.
right now. And so how can we go back to like the fundamentals,
Mhm.
your ABCs, right? And being a family unit. Like, let's start there, like bringing the family back
Mhm.
together and raising a family that's, that adds value to society and to your city and to your state and to your country. Like, it starts at your core, right? Like, and like loving your neighbor,
Mhm.
right? Like going back to like the basics,
Mhm.
real basic, and then let's build on that and go from there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What did marriage force you to fix about yourself?
How did marriage fix myself?
No, no. Force you to fix about yourself.
That's a good one. I think my selfishness, I mean, not that I'm like a selfish person, but I like to do things a certain way, or I want to do things on my own time or things like that. And so, thankfully, though, we've been friends we've been together for almost, it'll be coming up like 16 years this
Mm.
year. Um,
Yeah, a long
but
time.
a long time that we've, started dating and everything. But that's crazy to think about, actually. But yeah, no, I think that was probably something, and I still currently probably navigate that. I think sometimes I like certain things done a certain way, and I've had to like let go of some things because his brain doesn't work like mine. So I have to just let it go, and it's really not that big of a deal. I guess that would be my main thing. I don't know.
My was
Probably know more
my
like what I
thing
should
was
fix.
probably forced me to actually was to be like to self grow. So for me, I had to grow with mentally, financially, spiritually, physically, because it was for me, it was if I grow and I'm the best Anthony I can be, then I honestly think it would pour out to everyone around me.
Mhm.
So it was for me, it was actually I needed to focus on self growth because you have to sometimes understand where you stand, where you're at. Like if you're not growing, if nothing's growing, then it's dead.
Mhm.
So growing is something where I wanted to do in every area of my life. And then because if I can focus on being a better husband, that would pour into my wife. If I can focus on being a better dad, that would focus into my kids.
Hmm.
If I can focus on being a better worker, that would focus into my work and the people that I work with. So I think for me, the biggest thing, marriage forced me to grow because I was a boy. I was doing boy things. And then a boy becomes a man when he puts his childish things away. And so I had to put all of this stuff away, whether it was drugs, certain friends, just like the way I looked at money, right? And the way I spend money. It really, I think marriage forced me to grow,
Mhm.
to self grow. Yeah.
That's very interesting, I must say. Interesting. So right now I wanna talk about faith and God.
Okay.
So how does faith help you when things are uncomfortable or like you are not seeing good in this?
Yeah, this is great. I want to go on to this,
Yeah.
Danielle. So when it comes to with our faith, it's everything. So like when I say it's everything, it's like it's everything. If something's bad, I'll pray. If something's going good, I'll pray. If something is like not going, if something's, if my health is not good, I'll pray. Like everything, I just throw it to him. And so it helps me like take all of this stress and these monkeys off my back
Mhm.
and I just throw it to him. Because like what's a big problem to a big God? What's a big problem for us to a big God? It's nothing. It's nothing, right? And so how do I get to this space of like where I don't want to say I'm like high or I'm low, I'm always like leveled,
Mhm.
right? And I think it's really good to be leveled. And so the only way I get with that is by communicating and praying all the time,
Hmm.
right? That keeps me grounded because then it reminds me like what's important, what's not important. And so with my faith, it's just it keeps me leveled, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to get too high. I don't want to get too low. I want to be able to think clearly whenever I have a problem in my life. And I think he helps if I know who's on my side and who's with me and who's guiding me and who's leading me, then I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay. Like, this is nothing. This is just a hurdle, a bump in the road I need to get over
Mhm.
in my life. Right. And that's for big problems, no
Mhm.
problems, little
Yeah.
problems. So, medium problems. So it's just, he's always there and he's guiding me and he's like, my rock. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm
Mhm.
good.
Yeah. And I'll add to that too. It's just been in any relationship, in any life, you are going to navigate challenge. It's inevitable.
That's
You
true.
are going to navigate hard things. And
Mhm.
so when you have a faith that you can lean on and you trust and you have faith that God is guiding you in that, there's nothing more reassuring to know I don't actually have to worry about anything. I actually don't have to be the one in control of the situation. We've had so many situations in our marriage that we've navigated, from kids to living situations, things like that, where things change or we just don't know where God wants us. We don't know what God's doing and what he's teaching us, but we always feel like he's teaching us something in that season. And it's usually just trust me. Just trust me. I am going to guide you through this. Just trust me. Let go of it. And every time we let go, he's
Boom.
like, boom, he
Done.
provides.
Done.
It's
It's
done.
weird. And it's weird sometimes. Like, you're like, how did that even happen?
Yeah.
And it's like, only he can do that.
And I actually am I'm in a women's Bible study, so
Nice.
I do that
Nice.
myself. So it's something that I really wanted to invest in myself this year. Was really kind of one of my goals, and into last, like a little bit late last year. And so that's been really helpful for me too, just to dive into the word with women who think similarly to me or have the same kind of values as me. And everyone is navigating something. Every single person. You can look at go in and I think, oh, that girl's got it all together, right? And then she tells us her story, and it's like, oh my gosh, I would have never realized that you're navigating that. And to be around women who are navigating things, and to be around people of faith that are navigating things, it just shows God's provision after he answers those prayers. And it's like being able to witness a miracle, right? It's like if we were around Jesus during that time, we were like actually seeing those little miracles, those healings, those things that he was doing. So
Have you ever had a moment where your faith as a couple was truly tested?
Yes. I think it was tested when we had our first kid. So our first daughter was premature. So Danielle was going to we didn't know if we were going to have her 2 months early, or she was gonna go like full term, because Danielle's water broke like 2 months early. So that's
25
like,
weeks, my
yeah.
water broke. And then
Oh.
that was the day, it was the day COVID started, or
Mhm.
when when everything shut down. So we
Mhm.
were stuck in the hospital for about 2 months
Mhm.
Wow.
with,
Yeah, it was wild, and we didn't know what was gonna happen. We saw the whole hospital like flip upside down because no one knew anything. It was like day one, and we went into the hospital. And when we went in there, everybody was like, they were like, "Here's a mask, no mask. Here's a mask, no mask." Or clean, or gloves, no gloves. Like, it was just another time of our life. But we had that, like, with all the chaos in the world and in our lives and our baby, like, we were just grounded. We're like, okay, one day at a time,
Yep.
one day at a time, one day at a time. Like, and whatever he wants is like, we have to respect it. It's his ways, and that's what he wants. So we just trust him. So whether our baby comes out healthy, whether our baby has challenges, whatever it was, we can overcome it. But the only way we can do this is one day at a time, right? Because the world's going crazy, they're
Definitely.
shutting down, everything's freezing. It felt like no one knows anything. Like, but we know who our God is. We know, what his plans are good for us. So let's just take this one day at a time. And I think that was like really big in our lives, and it grew us even closer,
Right.
because it was such a big thing to overcome together. And that's why I think whenever you have hard things and you overcome it, and you don't fall or quit, or just fall over, great, because when you overcome, you get better. And then
That's true.
when other things arise, you're like, oh, that's nothing. I've handled something way worse than that, right? You're way more prepared mentally. And this is where it's like it all starts, right? And so, if you can control this and God, then I think like they go hand in hand, right? Because we're the only other species on Earth that can like actually think in the future with this thing, right? And figure out things. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at with
Yeah,
that.
I think that was definitely, I was going to say the exact same thing. When our first daughter was, when we just didn't know it was going to happen, whether she was going to be born at 25 weeks, she made it to
Wow.
33 weeks, which was a huge deal. So then, and then we navigated the NICU, where she was after she was born. And that was even more challenging because here she is, this precious little person that we finally get to meet. And then she has to stay in the hospital a whole other month just because she needed to continue to develop. And so that was a test of faith as well, because we couldn't see her at the same time together. So because of the rules in the hospital at that time, so we had to, he saw her, and then and that same day you had to like stay there the whole time, or else you couldn't come back until the next day. The rules were crazy. Nothing made sense. It was didn't
Yeah.
still doesn't make sense. And so yeah, we just had to trust God that who was taking care of her when we couldn't be there. They were taking great care of her. We had to trust that she was developing, she was becoming this amazing little person, and that we were going to be okay. And that this time will pass. This too shall pass. And that we had to trust that, because that's helped me. That's kind of been my motto. All of my motherhood is just this too shall pass, because there's always challenges. Kids are crying in the newborn stage. They're talking back later on. Like there's always going to be something. This too shall pass. So that's kind of one of the bigger things that our faith helped navigate some of those challenges in our life.
Wow. So how do you protect your marriage spiritually in a noisy and the digital world?
How do we protect it? I think what we do is what our favorite, like a little family motto is: we mind our own business. Minding our own business, Tony.
MYOB.
MYOB.
Mind your own business.
It is so funny. People at work, when I used to work in corporate America, I want to show you this quick story, okay? Her name was Jill Case. Like a case. Like you're gonna go to court because you have a case that you have to worry about, right? Like CASE, right? And she would always talk to me, and she would always say like, "Hey, this person is hooking up with this person, like, doesn't stop eating," or like always something, always in other people's business. And I never like listened to her. And I'm like, I'm going to listen to her right now. And she was telling me, she was telling me about like these couples that are hooking up, right? And they're like married or whatever. And how like they're
corporate America.
And how like they're lazy at work, right? And I was like, Jill,
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Shut the fuck up, please.
Basically.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, then I'm like, Jill, mind your own business. She was like, you don't want to know? And I was like, I don't want to know. I don't care.
Nobody cares.
I don't want to know. I don't care who's hooking up with who's eating what for lunch. I don't care. I don't care. All I want you to do is to mind your own business. And I was like, what's your last name? And she's like, Case. And I was like, case closed.
This was the best.
I swear, Tony, I was like, dude, I am your biggest mind your own business.
Yeah.
The news, people talking about Trump, Biden, people talking about racism, people talking about ICE, people talking about World War III's rockets. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know why? Because like, I care what's happening in my house, right? I'm going to control the controllables. I can't control other people or what they do or what they think, and people want to go into the streets and protest. Like right now, like there's a lot of protests, right? And this goes back to minding your own business. Like when I've never seen in my little short time in life, I've never seen where protesting worked. I've never seen where it just worked, right? And maybe in other countries, I don't know. I've never seen anything. So that's why I always like love Bitcoin, right? Because like it goes to the core thing, right? You don't like your way your system's working, then opt out, get some Bitcoin, right? Opt out of your system, right? And people don't understand that. Like, you don't need a part. I saw this great interview real quick with Jeff Booth. And I don't know if you know who Jeff Booth is, but he was so good. He was like, we're all participating in the system, right? And everyone's complaining about money, about Social Security, about finances, about jobs, about rates, stocks, housing, everything. They're talking about wars, everything. He's like, well, it's a system. So why don't you exit out of the system? Why don't you like say, hey, enough is enough? Look in the mirror and like, hey, I don't want to participate in the system. And I think Bitcoin allows you to do that, where you can just like save in this money where you don't have to, like, in the future you don't have to participate in the system anymore. And I'm like, that's exactly what it is. I don't want to participate in this. I don't want to participate, leaving my wife every day. I don't want to
Yeah.
participate in the news. I don't want to participate in politics. I don't want to participate in protests. I don't want to participate in none of this stuff. You know what I want, Tony? I just want peace, and like I want my family to know who God is. That's it. Know
I
who God
understand.
is. Love God, love people, serve God, serve people.
Yeah.
You know?
And yeah. And I think the peace is one of those biggest you can have.
Yeah.
Peace
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
best.
No one could take it from you. No one can take it from you, and no one knows how much you have, and that's great because who should know how much money they have? Nobody, because you, Tony, if you have $1 million, who should know that Tony has $1 million? Nobody
Just
except
Tony.
Tony. Just Tony. Just Tony. Tony. No one needs to know how much money Tony has. No one needs to know where Tony spends his money.
Yeah.
No one needs to know, no one
Yeah.
needs to know any of that stuff. No one needs to know where Tony wants to go live, or if you want to get up and go live somewhere else. You should be able to, like, get up and go
Leave,
live
yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
else or go leave,
That's true.
right? And so, yeah, no, I would say minding your own business.
It was the best. Like, wow. I think this is a motto for 2026. Mind of your business.
Yeah.
Mind your own
Mind your
business.
own
It's
business.
so good. It's so good. I swear, there's so much peace it brings in your life, Tony. Because as soon as, like, even my mom does it, right? My mom would be like, "Oh, this happened at work," or like, I'm like, "Mom, I don't care.
We
Mind
don't
Yeah,
no
I
care.
business,
understand.
Mom."
Women,
You know?
I understand. Women's, I understand. I understand. So, next question. Do you play together, and how was that change your relationship?
Oh, this is a great question, Dan.
Yeah, we do pray together. We actually get up early most mornings and we have time with God. So,
Mm-hmm.
we actually kind of do our own devotionals, like things that we're working on in our like faith. Sometimes I'm doing like my Bible study that I'm doing with my group, or Anthony's reading and doing his Bible reading also. And we also like pray at night together. And then we pray over meals. We pray as a family. Our kids pray before going to bed.
Mhm.
So we really modeled that with them. And that's just been, excuse me, that's just really been, I don't know, just really important to us to make sure that we're taking time just to pause and realize that what we have is not ours, it's God's, and that we are thankful for him, or thankful for all of his provision in our life. Even our kids, just saying thank you for this meal, God, dear God, thank you for this meal. That's a huge thing, because I don't want them to ever think that they have this food because we did something
Yeah.
like special.
We're weak. Flesh is weak.
Yeah, I wasn't out hunting this food. God provided our way to make sure God provided our way to make sure that we had this food here to eat. That's been it's been huge in our relationship as a couple, but also for our family, because we want our family unit to be strong, and I want them to know that their help comes from the Lord, and that he's always going to be the first thing that you should be thankful for.
Yeah.
That's true.
And we're not always gonna be here as your parents, right?
Right.
We're like, God will always be there for you right now, when we're
Mhm.
gone, right, and after. And so
That's true.
just to make sure we know where our values stand.
So right now I want to talk about your main thing about Bitcoin, freedom, and future, because this is
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
main thing.
Yeah.
It's so Bitcoin actually, it fell into our life because I think we were just running the rat race.
Mhm.
I was always working hard. I was always hustling. I was always doing jobs. I was always selling stuff online. I was always looking to, like, just make money. And we always felt like we were just always, like, staying even or going backwards. And
Mhm.
but it was never like huge jumps forward. And we're like working hard. It's not like we're like, I'm just chilling on the couch all day.
Mhm.
And so basically I went down the rabbit hole and learned about it, and
Mhm.
learned about what money actually is. A lot of people don't know what money actually is. They think, it's, you know, what they really what they think is money is actually just currency. It's just a medium of exchange. We're just like
True.
exchanging dollars, right? And there's nothing backed by it. It's all, they can print it out so much. And I think that like it's all like we're all getting finessed and slapped in the face. Where like we have to pay taxes thinking they're gonna go to somewhere, but they have a printer. They can just print this money, and we have to go leave our families for 8+ hours a day, and they can just, we have to work hard for it, but they could just print it, right? I have to like sacrifice time away from my family. And and when you say, and then, so let's just say you're doing things right and you're saving your money, right? For the future. And if you save your money, every time they print, your money is worth less. It's just getting depreciated, it's getting devalued. So we're like, okay, well, now that I understand what money is, I'm like, I need to go find out how much I can get, where I can get it. So my money grows and I can give it to my kids, because ultimately at the end of the day, I want to make our lives better. But my goal now, having kids, Tony, is I want my kids to have and my wife, I want them to have the absolute best life ever. Like I dream big. Like I have really, really big dreams. When we're kids, we lose our dreams. For some reason, like if we don't get them by when we're 18 or 20 or 22, we just stop dreaming,
That's true.
right? Like, no, like we have a dream board in our house, right? And it's a reminder, we have goals on our house. We have like little quotes in our house. So everything is important to us, and we have very big dreams. And Bitcoin, out of all the financial instruments in the world, Bitcoin is the best one. So why would you participate in other, financial vehicles, instruments, when you could just be in the best one? So in the short time that we've been in it, like our money's grown and we're super excited for it, right? And we're staying humble, and we want it to grow more, because again, like I'm thinking long term. I'm having a slow time preference, where I want my kids to be able to have fruit and bring them shade, provide for them, because um I think, like you said, there's a lot of chaos in the world right now, and I want them to be able to mind their own business in peace.
Yeah. So, so you just answer me for my three questions for Bitcoin. So that's nice. But I have one more. Do you think most couples avoid talking honestly about money and power?
Yeah, I think it's an important thing that you need to talk about. I think it's an important thing that you need to discuss even prior to getting married, how you want to navigate that. Because one of the highest, most common things that people get divorced for or because of is because of financial disagreements. And it's very, very important. That was one of the things that like I was told myself. I said, I am not fighting about money. I told Anthony, I would used to say, even before we were married, I do not want to fight about money. I don't want to fight about it. It's not worth it to me. I'd rather us not have money. Like it was one of those things where I was like, I would rather us not be, because I need him to be his best self. I need me to be my best self. And sometimes money can bring those uncomfortable conversations, and it
That's true.
causes chaos. It causes chaos. It
That's true.
causes fear. It causes all these things. And so it is super important to discuss and, like what Anthony said, communicate, over communicate about the things that are obviously a foundation of your marriage. And that's going to be finances. It's going to be a major part of your journey is finances. So I think more people need to be open about talking about those things. More people, especially going into a marriage, just say, hey, this is how I've navigated money in the past. Like, do you have another avenue that you're working on? Or how should we build? Because again, we're a team. We're going to be a team. How is this going to move our family forward? And when Anthony started diving into Bitcoin, I had to kind of humble myself a little bit more because I didn't understand it completely. And I still am learning, right? And so learning more each day just from conversations with people that we've had on the podcast and just different viewpoints and podcasts, other podcasts or audios that we've listened to. So being able to humble yourself to know, hey, maybe my way isn't the perfect way, but we're a team, and how are we going to move our family forward? That's usually what it is. It's just that we're just not thinking of ourselves as a unit, and we are a unit, and our family is going to thrive if we are on the same team. mean,
That's
you
true.
know? So it's very, very important.
Also, Tony, to add is that a lot of people don't even are not like go to school and they don't even understand money.
Money, yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I think it's very important to have conversations with your spouse, even your friends, your family, your mom, your dad, like about money and just get a pulse. Like you don't have to take their advice, just get a pulse on where they're
Mhm.
at with money. Because I think like number one, you should never get advice from people that don't have the results that you want in your life. Right. You have to
That's true.
show they
Mhm.
have to be able if you're ever gonna get advice, like make sure that there's fruit on that tree. Right.
Mhm.
Don't just get it because like your mom or your dad said so, right? Or
Yeah.
your best friend said so. Like, do they have the results? Are they living the life that you want? Right? Like I love my mom and my dad, but I'll never get financial advice from them. Like I love them, right? I just won't get financial advice from them.
Mhm.
And so going to school, no one we never talk about money. So a lot of people don't understand money. And so people think it, oh, like, yeah, you gotta do XYZ. No, no, no. You actually have to do ABC. You can't get to XYZ. You
Mhm.
have to like you can't you have to go to your ABCD. You have to do all your work, your homework, and learn what it is that we're leaving our families for every day, right? And so because most people think that they want more money, they actually just want more purchasing power. They don't want more money. They want more purchasing power. Because if
Mhm.
you have less money that can buy way more things, you want more
Yeah.
purchasing power. You
That's
don't
true.
want a lot of money to buy little things, right?
That's true.
Like, so for example, we go to the grocery store, we spend like so much money on groceries, right? Which I have no problem with, but like we're spending all this money on groceries and
Mhm.
we just get a little bit of groceries,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So do I want more money to buy a little bit of groceries? No, I want little money to buy a lot more
Yeah.
things.
That's true. So, okay. So my next question is, what truth about marriage do people avoid hearing?
Avoid hearing?
Yeah.
Truth
Which,
about marriage that other people avoid hearing. You
go
know,
ahead.
go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
Sorry, we got excited about this at the same time. I think what people avoid hearing about marriage. I think they avoid hearing that it's going to be hard. I think they avoid hearing that it takes a lot of hard work because it's going to take you changing a little bit to
Mhm.
become the person that you're intended to be for your partner. I think they avoid it and they go into a marriage thinking we've been dating for so long, we're fine, da da da. And then marriage, there is a difference of dating between dating and marriage. You are committed to each other, and your commitment is to make one another happy and to be there for one another. And so that takes a lot of time, shedding some things that you've had from your
Mhm.
past, shedding the like some old ways of your own self to be able to be the best person and a version of yourself for your
Mm-hmm.
partner. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's what a lot of people avoid is and maybe that's one of the reasons why people do get divorced and separate is because they're not willing to humble themselves and maybe they're too prideful of
Yeah.
like who they are and what they feel and they don't change. So like we said, you navigate so many different ups and downs that I think if you go into a marriage wanting to avoid change, oh my gosh, like
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
you are in for a
Yeah.
Set up for
treat.
failure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are set up for failure for
But
sure.
I think when hard things happen for people like in marriage, like hard conversations to have, I think like that's where like sometimes they just don't want to have it and they just
Mm-hmm.
avoid it,
Yeah.
right? Like, hey, I want to have this conversation. I don't like the way you do XYZ,
Mhm.
or I don't like the way you say these things. And or hey, I don't like your mindset on like our goals in the
Mhm.
future. All of this has to be like honestly, I think this should be done before marriage, but a lot of people I find to realize it happens after marriage and which leads to divorce or
Yeah.
whatever it may be. Wish that upon anyone. But I do think like when things get hard, like it's okay to stick around. Like it's okay to figure things out. Like everything's figure outable, right?
Mhm.
Like it's not all like rainbows and and flowers all the time. It's gonna be like whenever you're with someone a lot, you're going to bump heads, no
Mhm.
matter what. Even if you're with your manager a lot or your coworkers, you're gonna bump heads, right? Even with your close friends, you're gonna bump heads. So you're gonna bump heads. So it's okay, like, hey, let's figure this out. Or even like grow, like what she said. Like some people are like, hey, this is me. Like if you don't like me, like then that's how it is. Like we don't be
Mhm.
belong together. No, like you can grow, you can change.
Change.
Like because you're not the same person you were when you're 18.
Mhm.
When I was 22, I wasn't the same person as a teenager. When I'm 30, I wasn't the same person when I graduated college,
Yeah.
right? You're gonna grow, so you have to change. And so, and understanding like where you have to grow, right? Like, hey, I'm eating too much. I need to probably
Yeah.
stop and better, right?
Sure.
Hey, I need to like I'm not like listening to my wife enough. Maybe I should stop. I should take, social media or the news or
Mhm.
video games out and listen to my wife more
Mhm.
and spend more time with her. So whenever there's something, I think you have to always you have to always learn. That's why I think self growth was my biggest thing
Mhm.
when I got married, because I was like, I need to grow and be the best Anthony I can be, so then
Mhm.
I can be the best Anthony for my kids, for my wife, for my mom, for my
Mhm.
workers, for my
Yeah.
work, right? And so that's why I think like I would probably say is where I find people like just not communicating enough too.
Yeah.
So, what does a strong man requiring in marriage today?
I think a strong man is like somebody that has values, right? You know
Mhm.
what you stand for. You don't just waver at everything, or if someone you're not easily influenced by other people. You're like, okay, well, these are my values, and this person says that, like, let me think about that,
Mhm.
and you don't always have to agree. And saying no to a lot of things, I think no is very healthy. When we're young, we don't want to say no. We want to go out and do everything and hang
Yeah.
out with everybody, buy everything. But no is something you just have to say no. Like, no, that's not for me.
Mhm.
Or hey, no, thank you, or I'll pass. That's one of my favorites. Like, hey, no, I'm gonna pass, but thank you for offering. I think you just being able to like stand firm in your values, knowing who you are,
Mhm.
right? And I think that's the best thing, like as for being a man, is because you want to know who you are. You want to know who you're becoming, and you want to grow. And you want to.
Mhm.
I just think like it's very important because people look up to you. Like
Mhm.
my kids
Mhm.
look up to me, and I want them. Like I go to the gym as much as I can. She goes to the gym as much as she can. We want them to know, hey, you want to be healthy. You want to be strong.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Hey, they see us reading, like you want to read books, you want to get better. They see me read, they see us praying. Oh, okay, like they're always praying, like they know. You just got to know who you are, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer in life, and that's okay, I think. But you have to figure it out, and you have to step back and ask yourself, like, what's the person I want to be? What am I going to stand for? And where am I going? Right. And have a backbone. A lot of people have wishbones.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that has allowed him to lead our family so well is because he has like his self-growth. But in my role of making sure that he can be a man of
Mhm.
strength and wanting to lead our family, like I have
Mm-hmm.
to support that, like I not have to, I get to. Like I feel like I'm so grateful to be in union with this person because I've
Mhm.
seen him grow and develop and I know he wants to lead his family well. And so as his wife, as a wife in general, like our role is to really support that. And so sometimes it takes some
Mm-hmm.
sacrificial things that we would like to do, but if he's leading our family in the correct direction and
Mm-hmm.
where our kids, where I see positivity, we also need to, I as a partner, you need to support it because a man is meant to lead.
Mhm.
I want him to be the leader of our family. And
Mm-hmm.
so I want our kids to look at their dad and go, wow, he's doing all these things.
Mhm.
He's always been there for, any situation and he's leading by example. So that's on my end, the role that I see myself is in supporting that because, I just think it's super important.
So my next question is same as ask Anthony. What does strong woman require in the marriage today?
A strong woman in a marriage, there's a lot of things that we do in the back of the front show that you see, we're doing a lot of the little things and as in a marriage though, I think it's just supporting your husband and encouraging him and cheering him on
Mhm.
because like I said, I always have felt that like Anthony is a leader and I want him to lead our family. I'm a strong person too. I feel like I have a lot of great qualities that
Mm-hmm.
I could lead a lot of people and I could do that and I could lead our family. I mean, I know I could, but that's not what is intended. I don't think
Mhm.
God intended that. I don't
Mhm.
think I also want to be a female and feel loved and cared for and secure and all of those things. That's how I feel like I want to feel most of the
Mm-hmm.
time. I think most women do. And so if Anthony wants to lead our family, take care of his family, love his family well, I have to do those little things in the background that
Mhm.
probably won't get noticed. I'm not going to get a gold medal or,
I
anything.
noticed. I noticed.
I know
so
you noticed,
I
but
noticed.
no, it's just one of those things that you do. You have to. A strong woman is not necessarily like what you see as. I don't want. Sometimes we think we have to be like a man to be a strong woman, right? I think a strong woman
Boss lady.
is yeah, our boss lady or whatever. All the thing that we used to fall for in the past, I even did too, because we felt like we had to make money. You feel like you have to be just as much involved in the finances as your husband is. And that's not, as we've taken time to really navigate that, I don't want to do that. I want to be with my kids. I want to be at home with my, investing and making memories with my kids. And that's sacrifice for Anthony is also, in moments where he has to go to work and make money and, all those things too. Those are our roles in our family, but we're still both working towards the same goal. You know what I mean? So I think a strong woman is a woman that is able to take her pride away and support her husband well, love her family well. And that doesn't mean that you can't have a career, of course, but I really do feel like innately how God made us is to want to feel cared and taken care of. And so that's kind of how I would say a strong woman is sometimes just not being this like what the world has made strong women to look like, We're all super strong. We give birth to babies. Like, what are you talking about? That's like the craziest thing in the world
That's a good
to
point.
do, So, I mean, gosh, we're stronger than anything. I feel like you can do anything when you do that,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just,
good.
yeah.
That's good.
I have two last questions. So, if God asks you as a couple, did you lead with courage? What would you say?
If he what? I'm sorry.
If we led with courage, like
Yes.
to lead with courage,
Yes.
what would he say?
If he was to
What do you say?
If he was to ask us, did you lead with courage, what would we say?
yes, I would say yes. I would say we would lead with courage because we did our best to like let our kids know that there is no courage without him, right? And so I'm like, hey, we just get everything from you. We rely on you. I like one of my daily prayers, Tony, is like, I pray for our health. I pray for wisdom and I pray for guidance, right? I pray for guidance and wisdom, right? Because wisdom, like I don't know everything. Health, we need health to like be
Yeah.
here for my family.
That's true.
And guidance is because I need him to like steer me and make sure
Yes.
I'm pouring into my kids and my wife properly. Right. So if he asked me, yeah, I'm like, hey, my kids know who you are and they have a relationship. I feel like I've done my job.
Yeah.
Like I've done my job. Like they have a foundation. I'm not going to be here and then they can continue to like, hey, this is my lifeline. This is my anchor. This is my God. I can call him. I can pray to him. So yeah, I would say yes.
So the final question is, finish this sentence together. Marriage is not about happiness, it's about
Marriage is not about happiness. It's about
Teamwork came to mind.
Yeah.
I think teamwork,
Yeah,
communicate. I mean,
teamwork.
there's so many things that go into a marriage.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I think it is teamwork. Sometimes we'll be frustrated with the kids and we'll be like, same team, same team, same team. Cause we'll start arguing with each other. You know what I mean? So we'll start being like, well, you didn't get this, you didn't get that. And we're all trying to get out the same door, right? We're all trying to go the same direction. And then so we have to like nip it and go, okay, wait, same team.
Yeah, so teamwork. I would say teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork is huge. And teamwork sums up a lot of stuff.
Communication, gosh, your roles, your everything. It's just like whatever, all the things that we talked about, probably. I don't know. It's hard. That's a really hard one to answer.
Scanners.